Welcome to yet another edition of POS, the podcast where we find the piece of poop in all the things. Yeah, I said poop. I hear that if you're on YouTube and you don't swear in the first minute, you can monetize it. I still don't think anyone's looking to give us money, but if they wanted to, like a panhandler, I'm not going to call you a jerk. I'm going to say you're pretty, so you give me $1. Speaking of it, Bobby, you're pretty. How are you?
I don't have any dollars because we aren't monetized on YouTube.
Well, then fuck you. All right, we ruined the minute.
And we're back.
Yay, we're back, everybody.
What's going on, buddy? It's just the two of us.
It is. I tried. I reached out to the 3 people I know. No, it's like literally. I saw Dave Hintz last night, and I didn't ask him last night. And then today, I'm like, "Can you do it?" And he's like, "I'm having family dinner." And I'm like, "Hey, Dan Brown, can you do it?" And he goes, "I don't think they'll let me out of work in time, and I'll be sweaty." And I'm like, "All right, that's gross." And I was like, "How about you, Brandon Smith? We haven't talked to you in a while." And he just went, "No, not today. No explanation." Which I was like, I like that better than the other two. I don't care about your dinner and your work.
Of all those 3 people, he's also the one you definitely don't want an explanation from.
No, Brandon now is dating and his podcast is going well.
Oh, he's gay again.
Views. So now he's like, now he's not like now in a shelter getting ready to bunker down as much.
That would be an interesting question for him. How do you convince the girl it's time to go in the bunker?
Maybe I should share this story for when he's on, and I only know this secondhand. I didn't talk to him, but it'll be fun. Brandon does a lot of hiking. If you follow Brandon Smith at all, on his
now, sure, the police call it stalking, but he does a lot of hiking.
No, he does a ton of like that kind of stuff, being outdoors, thing like that, and he does it on his. I think his YouTube is Brandon Bonanza or something like that. But that's where he goes on. He's on the Oversharing podcast with people watching stuff like that. But he does a lot of hiking in Connecticut. And he's gotten so good at the same trails and doing stuff that he would get into like hiking groups and things of that nature, where like for a while he was just taking couples with him, and couples would be like, "Hey, we want to hike this trail," and then he would lead them on the trail. So the couple would have their fun thing, take their pictures. Brandon would hang out with them, get high, walk around the woods, and have a good time. I guess this one couple he was doing that with for a while, and then the guy was said to the girl something like, "We should try to like have a threesome or something." And she's like, "Well, I don't think I'd want to do that. I think I'd rather just sleep with Brandon," and then broke up with him. And now Brandon dates that lady now. So, yeah.
It's always good if you're going to steal somebody's girl to show them all your hiding places first.
Well, I think, I know you're making a joke, but we all make a joke about Brandon. He's obviously still like with all the hair, still like a handsome enough guy where some guys like, "I know you like him kind of, hon. What if we have a threesome?" And then she's like, "Why don't you just leave?" So like he's killing. He didn't try to steal her. He was just bringing him on hikes and being him.
And mistake number 1, that man gave up all of his power. What are you supposed to do in that situation, Pat?
Well, first of all, I would never hike with another man.
Okay, yeah, right. Take her on a hike your own.
That whole let's go on a hike with like, if you can't figure out the woods,
don't be in the woods.
Yeah, it's like no, I don't need a Sherpa. We're good. Yeah, I got this. I would never do that. But in that situation, I have been asked one time in my life about threesome, but not with a guy, with another girl. When I was dating someone, and I just went, I think that will make everything uncomfortable for us after. Even if it sounds cool in the moment, I think it's not good for a relationship. And then when that person thought about it, they're like, "You're right, that makes sense." I said, it's not that I'm not mad at you for having the thought. She wanted to have it with our girl, and that was fine. But I was just like, I think you'll be happy in the moment, but then we'll always wonder, did I have some kind of connection with the other girl? Can you not be friends with that person anymore? All these weird things that would happen where it's just like, yes, most things we want in life are cool in our head in the moment, but we don't think about the aftermath of the cool thing.
If I want to disappoint 2 people at once, I'll just hang out with my parents.
If I want to hear that, I can go to open mic. No, I like how you did it, but that's literally how many times you hear open mic comic. It's like, threesome. I want to disappoint 2 people.
Nah, but like if you see,
I would have disappointed myself. Take that.
Your situation's a little different. I'm saying like you see your significant other's attracted to somebody you're going to be around a bunch. It's inevitable.
Right. But to me, that's not even having a threesome. That's literally the second that you're even noticing that, you need to have a different conversation. You
That's what I'm
try to
asking. What would
yeah,
your
you try to now
conversation
do
be?
the thing with like, I'll allow it so she's good. Yes, once again, I know it's a popular porn, but cuck isn't a lifestyle you want to live.
No. I think the best thing you can do is find yourself a Dick's Sporting Goods. Oh no, wait, we don't anymore. So go to a Walmart and just buy a shotgun. Come home and just start cleaning it and asking her questions about the guy. And just be like, so you like Matt, huh? He's kind of cool.
I was in a Dick's Sporting Goods the other day.
What were you getting?
It was the best entrance to a mall.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
do that a
so like
lot.
able to walk through there.
I was also in a Dick's Friday.
When you were quitting?
No, although I haven't been in like 3 months. I was thinking about that today. Like they're probably wondering where I am.
Yeah.
Um, no, Kevin Dombrowski told me to come hang with him and Des Bishop at the Yonkers Comedy Club. And much like you, the best way to get to that is through a Dick's.
Oh, it's in a mall.
It's in an outdoor mall. But
Nice.
yeah, it's a beautiful place.
It's an outdoor mall.
So all the storefronts, it's like a mall but with no roof, essentially. And like it's outside,
But how
but
do you
it's a
have?
mall.
Where were you? California.
No, Yonkers.
So what do they do when it rains? They just
You get wet.
inside your business.
No, the business is closed. Sorry, the businesses are all closed. But it's like picture a mall and then just
Yeah.
remove the ceiling of the main areas. Like all the stores still have a roof. But like
I don't know why I'm not picturing this. This sounds bonkers.
so it's like it's a 2 stories
Okay.
and there'll be like 6 storefronts, right?
Right.
And then above it there'll be 6 storefronts.
Yep.
And then
And then
they'll
there's
all
a
they'll
building,
all,
and then there's like a roof, like I go into Dick's, I'm inside Dick's.
right.
I go
So
into Macy's, I'm inside Macy's.
they're their own entities, but they're touching each other and they're all connected. But the outside, like where you would walk in between stores, is open to nature.
Oh, it's just outside. It's a
Yeah.
strip mall.
But it's built like a mall. Like it's literally like if you
Hell,
were walking through a
on the
mall.
inside, you walk around and there's kids sitting on dumb couches, and then there's like a guy going, "You want the sunglasses, lady?"
Yeah.
Like,
They have all of that just outside.
pretzels.
There's just no roof.
So what happens when it's raining for
You get
Annie's pretzels?
Annie's Pretzels has a roof, but you get wet ordering the food.
You get a kiosk roof?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
They're like all mini little buildings. It's a nice area. It's just nobody wants to go to Yonkers.
We
I
were
was
walking.
laughing because Des Bishop, the guy at the club, was like, they told me he'd sell out. All these Irish people would be here, and we were like, it's St. Patrick's Day. Irish people aren't going to see comedy.
Right. And for everyone here watching, yeah, you're probably like, wait, why would a black guy sell tickets to an Irish thing? No, his name sounds like that. One time I saw him, I was like, that is not what I thought of Des Bishop
You pictured Des Bryant, which is
Yes.
what I pictured.
or Des Bien,
Kevin
which would
got
be
me.
a great name for a black French lesbian. He's
But it was
funny,
cool.
Des, by the way.
Very funny. It was cool. First show, probably about 40 people. I just kind of hung out for that one. I figured I was just hanging because Kevin knows I'm trying to get in with that owner, and mission was accomplished. We were talking between shows, and he was like, "Yeah, just come by." So hopefully I can get some spots there. But then Kevin, being the good guy he is, got me 5 minutes on the late show, which
How
I
was
took.
it? How was the attendance for a late show?
There were 20, and we said Des, and now his brother's the feature act, and his brother used to run like the Comedy Store of Ireland, like he was the guy.
Yeah.
Which again is like me being the best basketball player in Hershey, but it's still cool. Like you know what I mean? Like he has some, but they were expecting Irish, and there were no Irish in the audience of those 20. But I did my best in that 5 minutes to do what I could to destroy the show. Because Kevin, doing crowd work, found an Asian man, Pat. And guess what this Asian man did for a living?
He either delivers Chinese food or he drives a car.
Close. Yep.
Uber or no, hold on.
Oh,
I got racism, my bad. Uber driver or laundry service.
No. He drives something. Not a car though.
It's not a truck.
No. What would be the
rickshaw?
worst? He drives a bus.
Oh, Fanghua?
And no, like a school bus. And then Pat goes to make fun of him, or Kevin goes to make fun of him, and he goes, "No, it's for special needs. It's a short bus." And Kevin just goes, "Oh, aren't you the best guy in the room?" So I walked up and was like, "We're not gonna talk about the Asian driving the retard bus."
Oh, nope.
Like what? If they crash, they can't tell what happened?
Yeah.
Destroyed. The Asian guy almost fell out of his chair. He was laughing so hard. So it was like, all right, thank God. Because if I had missed my one swing in a 5 minute guest spot doing an Asian racist thing, it would have been good.
I'd be like, yeah, you gave us short ribs, so we gave you short bus.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
so wait, what was is Kevin's the host?
Yeah, he was just hosting, which is like,
Okay.
again, how good of a guy that he, as a host, got me 5 minutes on
No,
the
no,
show.
that's cool there. I just meant when you said that, I figured Kevin was featuring.
I think that may have been the plan. I think his brother's getting back into comedy, and this was kind of a thing. And like, who cares? They're just hanging out, having a good time, you know?
Yeah, no, it sounds good. But if I was supposed to be the feature, I'd be like, fuck your brother. And fuck the Irish comedy store.
How was your shows? You had a bunch this weekend, right?
Yeah, bunch during the week. Yeah, they were.
Shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday was fine. I did a show in a brewery place, but like they have a big room where people get like married and stuff. And it was a bunch of younger comics and me. And the guy who was running it gets real fired up and excited about shows, and then he gets like too excited where like even though he's saying, man, I run professional shows and they've got to be prompt and they've got to be tight and they've got to be this. And then when he tells everyone they have to be there at a certain time because the show starts a certain time, and then the show starts 28 minutes later for no apparent reason, and the place is packed, and like everyone's too worried about where the tripods for their cameras go for their 7-minute sets, and and like telling everyone at the beginning of the show the other comics, I was closing it, so I was like, I wouldn't ever do this, even if I wasn't. But like, he's like, all the other comics on the show, I need you all to stand on different areas of the room, and then when I start walking up, and you just start clapping because you clapping in other parts of the room get the people to clap,
I
and then
mean,
they
yeah,
clap.
that's mob psychology, but you don't need that.
Well, you definitely don't need it that when your plan is that. So you make 4 people who want to think about their act, just don't want to do that, do it, and then you walk up and go, "Who are the losers clapping?" And then
I'd
like
have fought him. I'd have walked on stage and fought him.
basically he's like, oh yeah, that's a nice clap or whatever, like, so that thing, whatever. And then okay, let me ask you this, and I'm not saying the guy's name, I like the guy, whatever, this is not me bashing anyone, this is just a real opinion. So if any of those people watch this, I'm not shitting on you, it's just I would like your opinion on this. Be honest with it. I don't want to crap on it. I don't know if you are in one end of it or the other. I'm just a certain way.
Okay.
The show was a Wednesday show. Okay. It's during the week. It's advertised. It's well attended, but it is not, there's no cover on the show, which, listen, that's the discretion of a venue. A lot of times when you book something, I know a lot of people say, whenever I book things, I tell people, if you give me a budget, you charge a ticket. You can tell them whatever you want. If the venue says, hey, we'd like to give this away for free, we don't mind paying you money, doing whatever, that's on them. I like it when an audience invests some kind of money, because then that makes them shut the fuck up. If you don't pay any money, a lot of times people, if they want to be drunk or whatever, they're like, what do I care? I didn't pay for this. But this had the vibe and the feel of a regular show on a Wednesday. The people came there for comedy, so it wasn't like we were going to get that kind of person. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
part I have an issue with. There's no cover, whatever. That's fair. There's a bunch of comics on the show. Advertised there were 4. I think there were 7. Everyone doing short month. Once again, not my show booking it. As long as I'm getting my time, my money, I don't care. It's a Wednesday once again. I like that it's a young comics that I know. The more opportunities, the better. Whatever. When the show was over, the guy who runs the show, thanks everyone for coming, but then pulls out a giant tip jar and is like, hey guys, we're all comics that work hard, whatever, and kind of does it'd be really cool, if you guys, your appreciation, throw some tips into the jar. How do you feel about tips at a comedy show?
That's tough. Did he
Especially
have
seeing in the situation I said it, because they did not pay anything to get in. Is it okay if you don't pay to get in and not okay if you charge a ticket? Because if you charge a ticket, therefore we paid money that we think is going to that. If you didn't pay for a ticket, you may be under the impression that these comedians are not getting paid and the only way they'll get money is through tip. Now, to be fair, I don't know this, but I do believe I was the only person who was planned to be paid on this show. I don't think anyone else was being paid, so therefore you can do that.
How many people?
Audience,
Yeah,
I would have to guess between 85 and 100.
I'm against it then. If it was a crowd of like 20 to 30 where you really got intimate with the crowd, they had a like then I feel like it's okay. Hey, you got 100 people in a room, asking for tips is tough. Like it's like, oh no, you've got a show going on here. You know what I mean? Like that makes it feel a little less professional. I wouldn't care either way if I'm a comedian on the show, especially if I wasn't planning on getting paid and then now I got $10. But to be honest with you, the 100 people in a room is worth it to me more than the $10. So I'd say don't risk alienating anybody in the room.
Does it? But right, and I agree with you, but like not even just I don't think it has to do with the size. It feels like a grift. It feels like you've now, without meaning to, have now just kind of put down what we do. They were under the illusion that they went to a comedy show from comedians. And the second you're like, we're homeless, will you please help us get shoes? Then you're like, what did I just watch? A bunch of people that aren't good enough to get paid? And I'm headlining the show. And it's not like I have some kind of big name, but in Connecticut, especially a place like, just for discretion, people, a place that's 10 minutes from where I grew up. So, like, not that a lot of people know, but okay, so there was like 85 to 100 people. At least 10 or 12 of them walked up to me and had some kind of, oh, we've heard you on the radio, or I've seen you perform somewhere before. So there was a tiny bit of recognition on the thing. It wasn't like I was promoted as headliner. Like I said, it wasn't a big paying gig or a thing, but like when they came there, they're like, oh, we know who you are. And people made jokes like, are you funnier than AJ on this like you are on radio? Ha! And I'm like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to be on this. Like, whatever, but like jokingly, but that kind of thing. And then when they put that out there, it's telling them, oh, that I know I really laughed hard at that headliner, but I guess he's not good. I guess he's not good enough to get paid. I might be overthinking that, but whenever I go, when I used to drink and I would be at a bar and a band would play, and I thought the bar, they had instruments and there was lights, and the bar said, "Here's the the Bon Jovi cover band, whatever."
Yeah.
And then they play and they're good, and I'm like, yeah, they sound good. I don't know how I'm using it, but I know those songs. It's fun. I'm having a good time. And then they're like, oh, intermission. If you guys, there's a tip jar going around. I'm like, oh, they're just amateur guys. Like that's my first thought. They're just amateur guys. They're not getting paid. They just came here and are collecting. And I know it's an old school thing and all that, but it's like it's almost like I feel like a minstrel or something like that. Like it's like a penny for a joke.
And yeah, you're basically the guy in Times Square now, wearing an Elmo costume.
And that's exactly what it felt like. And I was kind of like, And yeah, did he do that and then one of the comics who gave me a ride there, he's like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to get any money, and I did. And I'm like, well, that's cool that he did. And I'm sure it wasn't a lot or anything of that nature. But also, all the other comics did like, and here's where my greed comes in. This is the second part you say whatever. The comics all on the show did either anywhere between 5 minutes and 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's the most time they did. I did 30 minutes.
I did 8 years in Rikers, motherfucker.
Fucking Shank. And Shanks for nothing. But so when sorry.
That was good. No, that almost came through my nose. That was that good.
That's what she said. First of all, that'd be insane if she said, leave her. If she says that, I came through my nose. Get some manners, lady. You're a whore and you talk gross. See, when we talked about clips earlier before the show, gold like that, man. People would love Shanks for nothing. Come those.
Remind me, I think I've got a new thing now because of that. Go on.
Nose. But come the nose out. It's like Dave Coulier. Anyway.
Hey, Jizzy face.
Jizzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It's like, I'll just be the Fresh Prince. It's like, I don't want to be Jizzy. Can I just be Jeff, please?
All around the world, parents know that jizz in your nose is really cool.
Jizz Marquee. That's me.
Oh, baby, you got jizz in your nose.
We're off to see the jizzard, the wonderful jizzard of God. He jizz, the wonderful jizz, whatever the jizz there was. There's our clip.
Clip
Hey,
that,
wait, why are you on
motherfuckers.
the cover of Gay Magazine, Pat? But anyway, back to my morals.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. I did 30 minutes. I did because I saw there was an audience and because I knew they were feeling like it was a show. I was under the impression when I went there. It's a Wednesday. I'm doing 20 or so at one point, and I was like, I'll just run newer shit. But I'm like, no, they kind of saw a show, and I think they want a show. So I did material, my A material, and
Yeah.
I got results that I would normally get. You know what I mean? People had a great freaking time.
If the results were mixed right.
Yeah, you're a beautiful guy. Whatever. Um, I so because of that, wouldn't the guy when you go out to eat, and yes, you remember that they got you sodas, and yes, you remember that they brought bread, but when you're tipping, aren't you tipping because your steak came out perfect? You know what I mean? Aren't you tipping because the lobster was wonderful? The main course is why you're really tipping. Yes, the server helps too, and the entree and the appetizers all help, but you're kind of like the experience of the dinner. So therefore, aren't I the dinner? If you're gonna take tips, wouldn't they be going to me? Because I don't want them. But what I'm saying is when you're asking for tips after me, what you're saying is, hey everybody, that last thing you just watched, wasn't that funny? Can you give us money? So I'm the one outside dancing for this shit. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna ask for the tips, and this would be a weird thing, I guess, but do it before me.
That's actually what I was going to say. How I would handle this situation is be like, hey, here, when you're hosting the show, you put it on, come out and be like, here's the deal. We've got, a real headliner, a professional comic here. We've also got some people who aren't. So when we're done with their sets, we're going to pass this jar around. Any money you give in there is going to go to them. You know what I mean? Or something like that to present it like a distinction. And I know
Or,
you don't care about that, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
or dude, what if you do this and this could fuck with egos and you can make battles of people? You
per
treat it like
person.
you treat it like church. So like, but after every comic's performance is when you pass the plate around and you tip based on how you felt about them.
Okay, we need to do this as a show. You know how they used to do like paying or paid? You
Yeah.
need to take this to comics right now and go tip per comedian.
Dude, and they come out, and if they don't like it, you bring the hat back, and there's like 38 cents and a note that says, I wish you were dead. And, and then another guy's got like $50. And like,
Each audience member gets a you owe $5. So
right,
if
but
one
then what you
person
do
sucks, he
is,
leaves owing $500.
but then what you do is, as a show, you say beforehand, listen, we know some people are going to bring a bunch of friends or do whatever. We are going to split and pool all the tips. So as a comics, you're not already mad at each other. It's just more about the funness of it. But you don't say, you know, Joe, you get paid $50 tonight. Bob, you get nothing. Like that, you don't do that to them. It's not their fault if people just didn't like the set. You still split the tips all the way around and you do it that way. But you don't tell the audience that. I think that'd be fun. So I didn't say anything about it, or I'm not bothered by it. I did get paid, and it's fine. Um, I don't know. It just felt weird. It just but felt like, but that's just, I guess, me. I mean, whatever. I'm not mad at it. The young comics are happy to get money, but I remember it's the old man thing, and I hate being that. But like when I started, yes, people still did this tipping and things that's been around forever. Usually in cities though, and that's why I think I had a problem with it. If you're like if you're in New York at the Grizzly Pear at a place where I know now like the last year or two they actually have focused on having comedy. But forever, I knew Grizzly Pear was just some bar that if you walk to the back area, that you were like, oh shit, there's a comedian talking. Like it wasn't really that, or like places like that where like you'd walk into the back, you'd have a couple of laughs, and you're like, hey guys, we appreciate you walking in off the streets. These guys are just trying to pay their bills too, tip. And I'm in New York City. I'm like, oh, everything's kind of like that. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
throw you a buck. I'll throw you a buck. I'm in Boston. It's like I can see a show and I just have to donate $5 to the door. That's why not? It'd be fun. They're working hard. They're doing it. I'm in a part of Connecticut where everybody has like $300,000 homes, and I'm in a place that's like it's in one of those things where it's a brewery, but it's inside an entire old warehouse where
Yeah.
you can get married in the banquet hall that we're in. There's a fireplace, and you're asking for tip. I don't know, man. That just didn't feel
It's
right.
a different feeling. And when you were asking me, I was envisioning like an Earl show at a VFW or something like that, and how awkward it would be. Even if I was the guy getting the tips, I'd feel awkward about it and be like, don't do that.
I like the idea I came up with, but in reality, the way if I was going to do it, like, okay, so I was on a show. We talked about this. Dan went with me a couple months ago in Rhode Island. Fuck, what was it called? The Galactic Theater, the place where I was mad because they called it grilled cheese, but it was toasted cheese, and I was like babbling about that, whatever, one time. So that place, after the show, they collected tips, but they announced before the show that they were going to get asked for tips. Are you having a good time on your phone over there? What's going on?
Somebody texted me something that I thought was for somebody else, and then it just reiterates communication issues we were talking about before the show.
Is that person?
Yeah.
You kept looking down, and I'm like, something's good going on, but I'm gonna try to ignore it and be good, but whatever.
I apologize. I'm back now. I just had to make sure.
I thought it might be a person. At one point, I'm like, when you start to laugh and look at me, I'm like, all right, I can at least ask on the show.
Yeah. Somebody texted me, "Kiss my mouth," and it's a comedian, so I responded with, "Yeah?" question mark, and then I followed it up with, "Is this like a Louis situation? If so, I just want to know what I'm writing for because I'm down." And then they followed up with, "I just meant good job." It's like, there are so many easier ways to say that.
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want the compliment.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait, but okay, we're sidetracked. We'll get back to the tips. I'm sure people care about the fuck it. Long story short, the lady asked for the tips early before the show. Said, "Hey, when the show's over, we're going to collect them. These guys are all here to perform and work hard." But it was like a hipster little theater type thing. So that was the vibe. It was in this like part of Rhode Island where it's a little rougher, where they're all performing artists in some way. Like there's there's on that same street. There's people with like yoga places. There's like pottery places. There's starving artists who are like, yeah, that's how we do shit. They asked before and they collected after. It wasn't surprised on them at the end after they paid their bill of food and did all this or whatever. So that's why I didn't mind it that one time. And the same thing, the lady who ran it said to me afterwards, we'll give you a cut of it. I'm like, no, I was the paid headliner. And she goes, we usually only get $4. People are throwing 20s in this thing saying you were so funny and make sure I got paid. And I was trying to explain to them he was getting paid, but they didn't care. So therefore, no asshole, you're getting some of this. So I almost got, I got half of what I was getting paid on top of my pay as tips.
So that's like 150%.
Yeah, it was nice. I was going to say that, but then I could not do the math. So I did it in my dumb thing. But back to what the fuck you just said. What the fuck? If you're going to compliment me, right? If Bobby, if you did a great job, if I was sitting there and I said, Bobby, I came over to eat, and you're like, I made a little something, and it's this amazing pot roast. And I'm like, Bobby, what a great job. Kiss my mouth. Wouldn't I say to you, I could kiss you, it's so good. Not you come here and work my mouth. That's a weird for him to say, kiss my mouth.
Who says it's a him? Could be a her.
Told me who it was.
No, I know, but the audience doesn't know. We could have kept that illusion that I was being harassed by some famous female comedian.
And then I was like, Sarah Silverman, get off my show. It's like, anyway.
I was like, Roseanne, I thought you were a lesbian. Let's be honest. We got to play with what we're working with here.
Roseanne was married to Tom Arnold. That's not a lesbian. That's all man, baby.
I was thinking Rosie O'Donnell. I get them confused all the time. They
Roseanne
should really make
O'Donnell.
a porn together.
The combination of two of the same thing. Roseanne O'Donnell.
But aren't they like stark opposite politically? That's the porno, dude. Roseanne comes in and she's all like Trump, MAGA, and Rosie O'Donnell's all like dykes, and then they end up making out and eating each other out.
I don't know Roseanne's political thing anymore. I know she was on Fox, but I think she's just too much on meds to have a political view, and I think Rosie's too old. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, whatever. But back to the you getting mouth
we call
kisses.
it 138ing.
Right.
Because it's 69ing twice. They're so fat.
Got it.
Sorry, I did the math in my head. I was getting credit for that.
Oh, okay.
If I'm
But
doing
I've actually
arithmetic,
heard
I got to get
I've heard
credit.
somebody do a joke about fat people 69 and do that math, so I've heard the number.
Well, I'm going to go kill myself because that's the second hack thing I've done today.
On a show, you're not on stage. You're on stage. Kill yourself. Here, throwing shit out there. It's fine. We haven't even gotten to my worst show. We're still on Wednesday, but get to the kiss my mouth thing. That's right.
Yeah. I'm not
No,
sure.
but I'm saying like I just meant good job. That says a lot about how he talks to people in other relationships.
Yeah, I like that. I'm
You've done
literally.
well. Come here.
That's how I'm going to
what it's
start
doing,
rewarding my
right?
girlfriend.
What?
That's how I'm going to start rewarding my girlfriend.
Like, hey, good job today. Now you can come here and do a good job on me. Ew.
Yeah, you took that dick real well. Come here and kiss me on the
No,
mouth.
that's dude. No, great job. What can I do? I would love when people go. I can kiss you right now. I'm so happy. Not you can kiss me right now.
Yeah,
I'm
but
so
I'm a
happy.
pimp. Come over here and give daddy some sugar. You earned it.
It ain't easy. Now give me a ladder so I can pimp slap you. Yeah. Now, now I'm doing a personal joke about the guy. But whatever.
Oh shit, I didn't even get that. I was
Yeah.
thinking TL tables, ladders, and chairs.
No. Oh no.
All right. Anyway, so Sam Roberts texted me, kissed me on the mouth. Go on.
Tables, ladders, and Canadians. Anyway, no one watches this show. We're fine. So we did all that. Thursday was a regular show at Comics Roadhouse, whatever. I had to deal with one nightmare guy who was a bringer person for Frank, who would have thought he was a problem? He had a neck tattoo, he had words carved in his hair, gentleman. And so right away, the club is like, one of your people is acting up front. Like, they're not my people, they're Frank's people. And they're like, fuck you, you're a team.
You
And I'm
can
like,
tell exactly whose people he is by the neck tattoo. That's usually the
Yeah.
gang signifier.
Yes. So the guy, I guess, walked in right away. He bought like 20 tickets because it's a bringer thing, but he had a lot of people with him. But the second he bought 20 tickets, he turned around and tried to return 4. So they're like, all right, this guy's already on the drugs or doing something weird or whatever. And then was complaining that he couldn't return them. They're like, and they're like, you can't hand them out to other people. This whole thing. And then I guess he starts just like being real creepy and hitting on the hostesses there. And they're like, hey man, you just walk in. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to talk to these ladies. Like, you're not talking to the ladies. They're literally hitting a ticket. You're doing a service.
They're
Please
doing a job. Yeah.
go inside. And he's like, I'm never coming back here again. Yeah, we hope the same.
We know. We have your picture now. It's on the wall of people not allowed in.
He comes in, and then we already hear they have a problem. So Frank's trying to talk to him, but then I walk over and I'm just like, hey man, can we not be like this? And he's like, excuse me, man, who are you? And I go, I could be the guy saying your name and bringing you on stage. I have a feeling it's not going to happen. And he goes, oh, come on, man. Were you the host or something? Yeah, cool. I'm the headliner. I'm like, you're not. You're going last because you brought the most people. You are not the headliner. No one said you were the headliner. You're doing the same amount of time as everybody else. Doesn't matter about titles. Dude, just relax so you can have fun. Don't hand out tickets to people because I ain't handing out tickets to people, man. I'm giving them people I know. I'm like, and then a second later, I see him walk over and he goes, yo, man, you going to the show now? You want a ticket? I'm like, you know him? He's like, I know him now. I'm like, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dealing with this. And as
you're
that's
picking your
happening,
battles. Yeah, you're not going to get in it. Yeah.
So throughout the night, we're doing the show, whatever. Most people are being normal, whatever. I have to get ready to bring him up. Now, earlier in the night, when comics hadn't been there before, people don't know the show, there's a green room at this club that's you have to walk through a bar to go into the green room area. It's smaller, but the green room leads to the stage. And the stage, you have to go a couple steps, pull a barn door because it keeps the sound, and then you're right on the stage in the club. And so we show
and this
usually
is a
all the
perennial problem. This green room because it can't hold all the people on the bringer show. Like it's like almost a phone book size, a little bit bigger.
But we don't let any of them in.
Right. So, you come on, but I'm just helping summarize because in case people.
No, but that has nothing to do with this. We've been doing it so long since COVID. Now they've never allowed like any groups in there. So like we always before the show take a new person and show them this. Just also to see the stage because where the light comes from. If you're brand new to comedy, you would never think to look somewhere. It's normal to comedians, but when you're new, you're like a light. What's that? So what's also helpful is by the sound booth, which is like far left when you're on the stage, by the other door is a big clock, digital clock that counts up. So this makes all the young comics usually feel at ease. And that way they're like, oh, great. I'm like, yes. So if you get lost, look at your shoes or you're turning around circles or doing dumb shit, and you look up and it says 4:40, you know you have to get off stage in 20 seconds. You'll be okay. But if you don't see the clock, if you do get lost in the lights and get stage front, right, whatever, you don't see the clock, you don't see the lights. When you start to feel a lot of flashing lights on you nonstop, one or two flashes means 1 minute left. A bunch of flashes means we're about to turn off your mic and play music. And we explained that to them. We bring them up on stage one at a time. Frank had brought this guy as he's walking back out. I said, so I reiterated it. And Frank showed you that cool, just so you know. And the guy brought a ton of people. And Frank makes a rule with everybody. If you bring, I think, like over 10 people, you get 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes. Now, it stinks because we offer that rule to everyone, and that's a blanket rule before they get there. So Frank had already said this to a group of people, so he can't take it away like, oh, except for if you're a piece of shit and you're going to be a problem. So we've already offered it to him, and he brought the people, whatever. So he's in the back, and so Frank walks down with him, and I just reiterated. I'm like, hey, man, just before the show, go out there. And he goes, nah, I got you, man. I know what's up. You ain't got to explain to me. I know what I do. And I'm like, all right, cool. But just I want to make sure you understand that if you're doing 10 minutes, they're going to light you at. He goes, yeah, they're going to light me at 9. I'm like, nope. If you let me finish talking, this guy who does the sound here usually lights 10-minute spots at 8. So you'd have 2 minutes left. So I didn't want you to get off too early. I wanted you to then yell later. They cut me off early. They didn't. I'm telling I got you. It ain't going to matter, man. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to crush them or whatever. I'm like, great. Please go sit in the back area until then. So we get to his point. And so the comic is on before him is on stage. He comes walking to the green room. He walks in. He goes, all right, man. So where's the stage at? How do we get up there? And I'm like, what? And he goes, nah, man, like, how we get up there? I go, what? Why do you think you're in this room right now? And he goes, chop it up with you? And I'm like, I don't want to chop anything up. I don't know what we're doing, man. Yeah, we showed you. He goes, yeah, okay, all right. I remember that. Yeah, I got you. I go, you good, man? He's holding 2 Red Bulls. And he seems a little off. Now, in his act, he said he doesn't drink. So either he's a liar because he seemed hammered, or he was on other things that made him look like he was drunk, I don't drink, but I have 2 Red Bulls and I'm probably on some fancy little things. You know what I mean? So regardless, I'm like, all right, man, you just remember, if you get lost in the lights and the performance, I got you, man. I got you. I'm not disrespectful. And I go, well, that's the only thing you've been the entire time. And he goes, all right, man. All right, I got you. I'm like, all right. So I look at his name and I forget. I would even say his name because I don't give a fuck about this person. He's nobody. But I don't remember. It's Matt something to remember. I just said, because I know this with the new comics, especially one with an attitude and hairdos and things. Is this the name you go by, or do you have a stage name? And he goes, you could just do that, but and he looks at his clothes and he's wearing a gray like tracksuit. He's like a light skinned like Puerto Rican guy, like gray tracksuit and like sneakers, whatever. And he looks up himself down and goes, yo, call me Jumpsuit Matt. And I'm like, you sure? Because this is what I'm gonna say to your 20-something friends, even though there's like 100 people in the audience or so. Well, like 20 of them here for you. They don't know who that is. Do you want them to cheer for you or go, what's this guy? He goes, they'll know when I come out, man. Yeah. I'm Jumpsuit Matt. All right, man. I got you. All right.
Not gonna be good.
And I go, when it's over, you just get right off stage. I don't, at that point, I tell him, like, I let the comics know because when they don't know how I close those shows, it can scare people because I literally walk up after them. I set the mic back up and I just go home. And then I walk off stage. The waitresses love it. The people actually laugh at it. But it happened one day because I was just so mad at them. But it just gets the show done. I make sure
like we're over.
During his 10-minute set, I go to the waitresses and go like, you guys need more time? And they're like, no, we're fine. We're good. We want to get out of here. So I'm like, done. They had just done, Lenny Clark was there at 8 o'clock. They had just done a show. They got shows all weekend. They want to get the fuck out on a Thursday night. You know what I mean? So I said to him, I just literally say one word and walk off after you. So don't be shocked if I'm right behind you. He goes, no, man, I'll be good, man. I ain't worried about that. I'll be already be with the people, whatever. I mean, he's just talking. I'm like, all right, fine. He goes up. I go out to the room, like I said, to ask the waitresses, do you need me to do any time? And I look up and he's barely talking. Like, he's like, yeah. and he'll just like chug a Red Bull, and they'll be like, "Yeah, man, do," like kind of like we're like, "What the fuck?" And this one waitress goes, "I'm having secondhand embarrassment for this guy right now," and I go, "No, it's funny. You said that a month ago when that one guy was doing karate and fell down." She goes, "Yeah, I have secondhand embarrassment one time in my life, and it's on your guys' show." So I'm laughing at that. I go over. Then about like 4 minutes
That's
in,
how Frank should market it, by the way.
yes, secondhand embarrassment, first class tickets, first class show, but third world country. But so I said to the sound guy, I'm like, "Man, this is going crazy." And also, as I said that, the Red Bulls, the two of them must have kicked in because now he's talking like crazy. Now he's not worried. Now he's going into his act. And the sound guy even said to me, he goes, "Well, this guy's going over. If he played 10 minutes and he just sat there for 3, he's starting his 10 minutes now." So I go, "Yeah, but do whatever you got to do. He's the last guy, whatever." So I go to the back area. I'm not really listening to what he's saying. I could sense there's like a minute or two left, and I go to stand to the side area where I can see through the sliding door, so no one can see me, but I can see and now hear a little bit where he's going at, so I get ready to go up there. And he's going, the light flashes on him, and he goes, "Yo, now it's character assassination time." And I'm like, "Oh no." And he's like, "Yo, mom." I'm like, okay. He's gonna yell at his mom.
Oh
Okay.
no.
He goes, "Yo, mom, yo, man, mom, I love you, mom. Have you here?" Like, "All right, good." And he goes, "Yo, dad, remember that time you told me you were so mad at me, you wish you came in mom's ass so I wasn't born? Fuck you, dad." So, the friends are laughing, but you can hear the other side. It's like, "What?" And he just goes, "Yo, and yo, James, remember that time, yo? Fuck you in that time. You're gay, whatever." And like, all right.
He invited all of these people just to roast him, or are
But
the
he wasn't
people
even
he's
really a
roasting
roast. It was
not
just kind of
there?
like memory lane, but like in a weird way. And then he goes, "Yo, what was that host name? What was the host name?" And someone yells out, "Pat." And he goes, "That's a man who knows what it feels like to have a dick in his mouth."
Oh shit.
Yo, man, that dude is gay. Yo, that dude, yo, man. Yeah, it's like, he's like, it's like, yo, he's like, "Yo, can I come over?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna have you come out of the closet just so I can put you back in." And I was like, in my head, I go, "Is he calling me gay but telling me he's gonna have gay sex with me? Like, I don't know what that is." And then
This is the weirdest threatening of being raped I've ever gone through.
because then he's like, but then it made sense with the next sentence of, "When I did time in prison, he would have just been a one night stand. He wouldn't have been. I would have thrown. He would have been dead after I was done." So I'm like, in the thug world, I'm not good enough to be in a relationship with him. I would just be fucked and tossed into the graveyard or something. I don't know. And then he gets off that thing and he tries to go into another story. Is now the light is just flash, flash. He's at 10 minutes. It's going for a little bit. And
It's
to the
mic cut
DJ's
time.
to the DJ's credit, the sound guy's credit, he was, because he's the last guy and he had 20 people, he's being lenient. And I can tell. And I can see like, oh, he's gone over a minute now and he's letting it go. And then he turns the music on. Now, earlier in the story, I told you guys, I explained to him twice what happens here. And when the music goes on, you got to leave. The music goes on, and this guy was so drunk or whatever, dude, he just starts to dance. Like, not like because he's embarrassed. He's just like, like he's at a club. And then he's just like, "Everybody, yeah." And then I walk out, he goes, "What you doing?" Mike, "You're
Time over,
done."
buddy.
He looks at the clock like a weird face, and it's at 12 minutes and 1 second. And he's like, "Hmm." So I go up, and as I'm doing my thing where I just put the stand, I do a whole thing where I put the stand down, I move the stool, they think I'm gonna talk, and I just say, "Go home," and they laugh. As I'm doing that, like 8 people yell out, "Get him, Pat. You gotta get him now," because I've been making fun of people and doing my thing. So they're waiting for this rebuttal. And I just look at them and go, "Go home." And I walk off and they're like, they're laughing, whatever.
That's great. It's even better that way.
But now I'm waiting for Thug Boy and what's going to happen when I go into the green room. Are we going to have some guy trying to be hard here or whatever? So I walk down the stairs and he's standing there looking at me and he goes, "Yo, man, will you hear that stuff?" And I was like, I barely listened. And he just goes, "Nah, I just been like, it was fun. I respect you, man. Thanks. You guys have just been great. It's been a wonderful experience." I'm like,
What?
You just talked about throat fucking me. like,
Now
like
it's
what the
even
fuck?
more confusing.
And
I
then
don't know if this is an aggressive thing or a
yeah,
lovemaking.
and then he goes, "Yo, man, so you took so why did they play that music though?" And I'm like, "You were over your time. The clock said 12 minutes." He goes, "Yeah, so I thought I had more time." I go, "But you're doing 10." He goes, "Oh, the clock goes that way." I don't know what that means now. Like I've been thinking about that for days.
He thought that you looked up. He looked up at one point and thought it was going the other way, like it was a timer going down, and thought, "Oh no,
Well, we
no,
didn't
I've
start
got
him at
12
12.
minutes left."
Okay, but it's going down, Bobby. I thought about that. I thought about that too. And on the ride home, I had lots of thoughts. But where did we start the clock? Because he's doing 10 minutes. So it would never be 12.
No, no, no. He's not doing 10 minutes, Pat. He's killing it. So you guys keep adding time. It's like a video game. The better
No,
he
he
does,
did.
you keep
I
pew, 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 pew.
thought, I don't think he's smart enough to think about that. But like,
No, no, no. I bet what happened is at 8 minutes, he looked up at the clock and was like, "Damn, I only been up here for 2."
I don't think he knew anything. I think when I said that, he goes, "How do I get out of this?" Oh, the other way. And then that was that show. And then Friday, I did a show for bikers
Always fun.
in their biker club.
Which one?
They're I don't know. I think I'll tell the story and then you figure out if you think I should say the name.
Okay, that's a good call.
Because nothing bad happens right there. They were wonderful people. I just don't know. But yeah, they're a legit motorcycle club with real people who motorcycle club it up. And that's their lives. It's their whole life.
Now,
And they,
would the FBI classify them as a club?
without a shadow of a doubt,
Gotcha. That's what we're working with here.
without a shadow of a doubt, the FBI doesn't only classify as them. I'm sure that one or two of them were FBI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that nature. But a couple of them listen to the radio station I'm on. They're a fan of me. Also, we always talk about it when I used to work at Joker's Wild. Joker's Wild was run by a guy who ran a biker gang that was called the Undertakers at the time. So a lot of the biker people kind of know who I am anyway. So there's that kind of connection there. They were going to be doing their first ever St. Patrick's Day thing at their clubhouse. They do things like to raise money and just to all get together and do stuff. So they were going to have this thing. Now they told me I can bring.
I'm already having a panic attack because you can't tell no to the bikers club, but that's already a horrible situation.
I definitely could have said no in the way it was approached. The guy who ran it,
rephrase it. Should have said no.
What?
You should have said no, and I don't even know what happened in this story.
I had this talk with a buddy of mine, and here's why I didn't. Okay, and this is just planning for my future in two ways. One, I know we all know certain things about bikers and motorcycle clubs and all that nature, and as they're a group of people that can be known as notorious as that, whatever. They're also, when it comes to charities and things like that, because of what they do, they are giving and wonderful and all that kind of shit. And I'm on a classic rock radio station with the hopes that one day I might have my own show. This group and other groups show up to the toy drive and donate tons of toys and money, stuff like that. So to have, if you become popular within them, and they're the kind of people that are listening to radio still all the time, where they work, what they do in mechanics, all these kind of outdoor type of things, whatever. It would be nonsense to not want them to have my back. And also for them to say, "Oh, who's your favorite comedian?" We love that dude in their community, gets people to come out and do things. B, man, if you get in a bad bind, it is good to know you can call up a guy who can take care of a problem. So it does not ever hurt to have these people find you funny and think you're cool and invite you into their little world, because this is the thing they don't let a lot of people into. You know what I mean? So
it's kind of like Tony the Tiger. You got to earn your stripes to get into this club.
Yes. And as you know, I don't drive. So I normally have an opening act come with me. And people that watch this show, I started going through the people that you've met. Dan Brown can't go.
No, he can't. It'd be amazing. I want to see Dan Brown go, but he can't.
Dave Hintz would stick out like a sore thumb.
They'd play a little game called Smear the Queer.
And I'm just, even like when I was like, I wonder what Pete Angelo's up to, but I'm like, oh yeah, gay. So when I don't have opening acts, I have my buddy we've talked about, my good friend Dion, who drives me places, likes to go to shows. He's been to more shows than most comedians. Um, and I was like, hey man, what are you doing Friday? I told him, he goes, all right, man, I got you. We'll go. He's like, Dion is like a lot of Kumia fans, a card carrying member of a certain I Can Carry society where
Yeah.
he always has something on him at all times. That's him. It's not
I
me. I
thought
don't
he
know.
was the friend who gave you the advice, and the advice was take this gig because I got an AK that I've been itching to try out.
No, not at all. Dion was like, listen, it's the thing you're gonna do. Let's go, have fun.
Yeah.
We get there. It's not Joe's Bar and Grill. It used to be some kind of like garage or something that they have turned into a clubhouse slash compound. And it's got parking lot. It's on a main road in the town. It's got a parking lot, but like you don't. There's no doors.
Okay.
No doors. So they told me also when you get there to text them so they can let me in. I have to bring sound and everything too.
So you got all your equipment and stuff.
Not a lot. A speaker stand, a speaker stand as well, and some wires in my backpack. Like I'm very small. It's not gonna be a big place. Like same thing I bring when I run my open mics. Like very,
Yeah.
the sound can cover, a room the size of the one we did for Timothy Lovett, that kind of show. Like
Oh
my
wow,
sound can cover
that's
that kind
nice.
of room
Yeah.
with one speaker, no problem. So we get there, we go there, and then Dion looks and sees that there's no windows or anything, and he goes, "Man, it'd be dumb for me to ever even have a gun on me. Let me put this in the car." Because he's like, because we see a fence and we see prospects, which are the guys who are waiting to be in the back gang, working the door fence, if you will, and they're probably going to pat people down they don't know. The last
Yeah.
thing you want to be doing is bringing something in with you. And I'm
And
like, yeah,
making it
that
look
makes no
like you were
sense.
trying to sneak it in.
Yeah, not that we would need it. We are welcome guests at this wonderful thing.
And
This,
you're going into a window doorless building.
yeah, we're going.
Even if you have one, it's not going to do you much good.
I shouldn't make this joke because he is your friend, but because I do watch Kevin Brennan, I'm going into a Bill Schultz apartment. It's a windowless building. I love Kevin Brennan. Anyway, so
Bill Schultz is also in a biker gang, but it's a different type of bike.
Bill is a nice man. He's been on this show, but Brennan is fucking killing it right now. He just yelled at a podcast because it toasted by a potato, and it was my favorite thing ever. This thing called Cardiff Electric, where you just go. Someone's like, "What do you think of it?" He goes, "He's a potato. I don't talk to potatoes." He's like, I'm not going to do an interview by a potato." And I'm like, what the fuck? So, and he's not wrong. So they let us in. They open the big. It's a huge gate door. It's all white building brick, and then like a huge gate that's locked. And you walk in, and no one says anything. So we just start walking towards the back outside. And there's like a picnic table, and there's a lot of land and like woods, and then like fencing, and then like it looks like a compound. There's like separate weird doors on the side, and so I kind of spin around a circle, me and Dion. What do we do? And I finally looked at one person and go, "How do we get in?" And they're like, "Oh yeah. Oh, they're idiots. Like Crowbar or whatever the fuck their names are. Like
Yeah.
show them." So I turn around, and it was right where we were first. And we go in there, and it looks like every place that you would ever see, Sons of Anarchy thing or anything like that. Small area where there's a pool table, there's a bar, but central casting of like, and here's the thing, it's hard to like, I can't make fun of things, get whatever. That's what Dion and I both do. We hang out. We're kind of like just big jokes, whatever. And I'm sitting as close to him as possible. Like, it's like murderous Bennigan's. It's the only way I can say it. If you remember, it's like, and he's like, "Dude, don't." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, but there's so much flair. Like, I know, I know they're killers or whatever they are, but like all over there's so many signs of the name of the gang, like framed, nice wood made pictures, so many pictures of like former bikers to past, all this stuff. And then I went to go grab my phone, and then like just kind of go on it. And then Dion goes, "Hey man, look at the wall quick." And I look at the wall, and it says, "Absolutely no video, phone, or cell phone use in any way, shape, or form inside this building. No exceptions whatsoever." So I was like, "Fuck!" I had my backpack and had all my wires in it and stuff like that for the set up. So I'm like, Dion, give me your phone too. Let's just not have phones. He's like, good call. So I put
Gotta
them in
have
there,
it. Yeah.
put them away. So I have the pictures or whatever. And there's the wives of the men there, and they all look like that. They all look like Sons of Anarchy. They all look. Most people there are like 40 up. There might be a couple younger, but like big burly men, either bald with long gray wizard beards or long salt and pepper like Dennis Hopper, old young Dennis Hopper hair with mustache, sunglasses, the whole wearing the colors and everything in there. There's a couple other gangs in there too, not just them. They
Wait, go
couldn't have
on.
been more
Hang on
hospitable.
1 second. Go on. What was that last part? They're
You
like
know
hanging
that's the
out.
term, right?
What?
That's the term. If I say anything else, I say vest, I would be insulting them.
No. I thought you said there were a couple of other
Gangs.
So they're intermixing at this
They
function.
do that all the time.
That's what I was checking. I thought I misheard. I
thought
was just making sure. So there are different groups. No, I wasn't doing that. No. Definitely not. I'm aware what biker gangs roll.
A couple of them had patches that
yeah,
aren't popular.
Mm-hmm. Used to mean one thing, now means something kind of the opposite.
Nope. This one patch has always meant the same thing. The second part of the word could be sticker.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They had a couple. They were wearing those, you know.
Yeah.
If you were in the Southwest Association and you had a sticker.
Yeah, I'm picking up what we're putting down.
What else out there? Yeah. But yeah.
Like half a Bluetooth logo.
Yeah. Or like if you drew a stick figure but hated heads.
Yeah, I gotcha.
If you like the walk like an Egyptian walk, but spinning in a circle.
If you were going to draw a square with 4 squares in it and you forgot to draw some parts.
Yeah, if you were autistic and you're like, this is a square. You're like, that is not. Snicker. But anyway, so they couldn't have been more hospitable. Pat, great that you're here. Oh my God, this is going to be great. What do you need us to do?
Love the haircut, buddy. It's a great look on you.
I just need you to plug in. I need somewhere to plug in. That'd be cool. Great. We'll put you over here in the far corner of the room. And Deon's like, fuck. Like, away from all the doors and any way to ever get. So I'm not someone who overly panics. Listen, when you were there with me for my recording, you were even saying to me, like, you're pretty unflappable when it comes to stress situations because you were worried about everything. And I'm like, no, man, we have to go. We have to roll with the punches always. And I try to be that way. But there was no way I wasn't getting a little nerved. It was just like natural to be that way. They set that tone. That's what a motorcycle club does.
Yeah. And let's be honest. You're at a point in your career where you know any given room, you can figure out a way to get laughs. But one of those tools in the belt is picking on people in the room, which not going to happen here. It would be an incredibly fine line to walk and nobody's going to do it. So you just state a material about your life, you know what I mean, that they can't possibly interpret as any shots at them. So that's one tool that, you know, like now you're going on stage and you know that's one tool you don't have. It's like the video game said you can't use this on this level.
Exactly. And because you said that's perfect when you lead into this part. So when they're like, you can do whatever, set it up here, whatever. And I said, the guy who knew me, I said, hey, can I ask you a question? He's like, sure. I'm like, actually, just talking private for a second. So we walked to the side and I was just like, does anyone here have anything going on in their family's lives or anything going on that if I made a joke and did not know, I could ruin someone's day? This is your guys' big St. Patrick's Day get together thing.
The last thing I want to do, yeah.
The last thing I want to do is say something. And he did say, he goes, hey, there is someone here whose family member actually just took their own life. I hope you don't do any suicide jokes. I go, you know what? I don't talk about that at all. There's something to do. I don't dabble in that. So I appreciate you saying that. He goes, no, besides that, you'd be fine. And I went, he laughed at this. I went, I'm not trying to say anything. I don't know. For some reason, I always thought a lot of bikers sometimes have Down syndrome kids. he goes, holy shit, a lot of clubs do have guys and kids. He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I never thought of that. He goes, no, none here. You could say that all day. I'm like, okay. Good. I say
that's
that all day.
That's a good question.
I'm like, yeah, but also cancer, things like that. I don't say it, but in case something came out, he's like, nah, man, we're ready to have fun. You're gonna be good, whatever. I'm like, cool. Thank you. And then they're like, we got a bunch of food here. And then the wife of one of them was a corner. She goes, and everybody looks, all the bikers look like bikers.
Mm-hmm.
All the bikers' wives look like bikers' wives.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I'm putting it there.
Yeah.
If you're painting a picture in your head, it looks exactly like that. It's not like everyone's 20 years old biker porn. It's not all sexy Pam Andersons in leather. At one point, these women might have been Pam Andersons, but now they're Mrs. Anderson to you. You know what I mean? Like,
now, I once got to work for a club myself. Wasn't aware going in. It was a Rich Carucci gig, and we got there, and they were like, "Oh, there's this one particular club here. That's interesting." But it made me consider buying a motorcycle because typically it seemed like the guys were overachieving, and I mean that in the most complimentary way possible.
oh,
Was that the case? It was equivalency, though. Okay, that's what I was curious about. Yeah, because like
everybody had the same amount of achievement.
Gotcha.
Not
Understood.
good nor bad nor different, but also
Nope,
to
the
be
same.
clear, as my buddy Dion put it, I couldn't tell you what anybody looked like. I avoided eye contact at all costs, and I was kind of the same way.
Mhm.
So we can make makeouts of things, whatever. But they had a big layout of food, and they really went to town with being the theme of St. Patrick's Day. They have corned beef, the traditional corned beef, cabbage, all that. And the next thing, they have corned beef hash.
I thought you meant they drove the snakes out, and they were like, "Timmy's a rat." Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah,
All right, Pat, make it lighter.
I'm assuming it was corned beef. And there was corned beef sandwiches and corned beef hash and shepherd's pie with au jus and listening to a wife of a biker wearing her stuff and his stuff, and and they're having a conversation about if possibly the au jus could be too salty. Once again, it's not a conversation I thought I'd hear in a motorcycle clubhouse, but this is where I start going. These are people who wanted to be entertained, have fun. They have a hobby. This is their hobby. When if a Dungeons and Dragons group wanted to have comedy, they'd call me in, and I would do their show. Even I wouldn't judge them for being nerds, so I shouldn't judge the other way. I mean, I would judge them for being nerds, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, and like, let's be honest. Like you said, the club's done a lot of good.
I don't know. I'm just saying clubs do a lot of good.
Yeah. And like Richard Nixon at one point, when they were trying to get him to go after them more, was like, if we compare them to the church, who should really get the tax exempt status? And it's like these guys.
You ever hear Richard Nixon talk about that crazy island?
No, that's which island?
The one, the Bohemian
Rhapsody?
Grove.
Oh, no, I haven't, but I'm gonna look it up after this.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say on here because I don't want to see it. Richard Nixon says the word that gay people don't like a whole bunch while he's president about what's going on there.
Actually, you know what? Now that you say that, I think I have heard some clips of
Shane
this.
Gillis talks about it constantly. So it's like, if you listen to Shane Gillis on any podcast, he brings up that all the time. Like almost more than his act or drinking or anything else. Anyway, so we get to all that kind of stuff. I talked to them. We're supposed to start the show. They started their shindig at 6. We were going to do comedy at 7. I wanted to get out of there. We talked about possibly doing a half hour of comedy. Because I was like, hey, you guys really want to be here for your drinking and your fun and being together. It doesn't really make sense to do more than that. I don't know how much people are going to pay attention. It's not like it's set up for a comedy show. I'm going to stand in the corner. It's a bar with 6 stools, and everyone else is going to stand there and stare at
watch
me.
like a concert?
Or is it they're about to beat someone up? My whole thought was when I was standing in the corner setting this stuff up. If you've ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, when Pee-wee's about to do the tequila dance and he goes into the biker bar and he's just standing there and they're all looking up. That's kind of how I was on stage while they're all standing around me in a circle. So I was like, hey, Dion, when we do this, I'm not going to know if they can hear the sound well. So I'm going to have to say, can you guys hear me? So how about you stand right next to me in the speaker here so you can adjust the sound? Saying that out loud enough so they understood why Dion was basically standing in the corner with me while I'm doing the show, but off to the side so he didn't have to get like lost in the shuffle, whatever. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense. And they're like, hey, can you do the raffle afterwards? And I'm like, whatever you need me to do. Like, it's just a 50-50. If you can announce it after, that'd be awesome. And then I just
raffling off which one of you fuckers is getting killed.
And then like, can you also let us use the mic for a second to make an announcement afterwards? I'm like, of course, whatever you want to do. It gets to be 7 o'clock. People are still coming in and out. A lot of people going outside. Um, I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a building where people smoked. So that was it. Also, just covered in smoke. They had an area, but it was just like tarp or like actual blue tarp, whatever, covering that almost you get in and out of there. And at one point, Dion noticed that whatever the ashtray they were using got so overfilled that a guy was carrying it out because it was on fire and he had to throw it outside.
That's awesome.
So I look up to see if what are they watching on TV? But there are not TVs inside this place. There's just 3 giant monitors that are the security cameras, so they can see everything that's going on inside and outside at all times.
Everybody.
It looked like bar rescue, when they're watching.
Yep.
Like it's just like that. And I was like, but so I said around 7:10, I said, hey, when do you guys want to start? Like, if you want to start right now, we'll get them all. I go, no, this is your guys' fun. If you want to wait till 7:30, that's fine. I just want to do this. We can get out of there and whatever, so you guys can enjoy it. But I also don't want it to go so long that you can't do it anymore. Like that makes sense. Around 7:20, 2 of the guys walk up to me. The guy put me in. Oh, by the way, one of the guys there, who's like one of the guys in charge. I don't know. I forget the term. I want to say sergeant at arms. It's like one of the terms, or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the charge guys. Like he came up to me and goes, dude, by the way, I just want to tell you, you're hilarious. And I go, oh, thanks. He goes, no. I saw you last week at your show at Derby and Red Show, the show you put on. Me and my wife, he wasn't there obviously in his biker colors or anything. So he's just a guy. And he goes, he's even telling me, which is funny, he didn't know who they booked. So when they were talking the next day and they were saying we're having the comedy show, he goes, well, he better be half as fucking good as the guy I just saw. And then he says his name. The guy goes, that's literally the guy.
Yeah,
like,
I just saw. That's
shit.
Awesome.
So now he goes, so all week I've been telling everyone how good you are. And I'm like, fuck.
Thanks for that, buddy.
No, fuck. Because like now there's X-Men. Be funny. Like this guy said you were. Yeah, in a setting for comedy. But whatever. And also, you see me here. I'm wearing my maroon hoodie. I'm wearing this, but with like a button-down flannel shirt. I don't know how to dress. As a young comic told me last week, Pat dresses like lesbians. And I go, yeah, kinda, but like lesbians aren't loved there. So
there's an episode of 2.5 Men where they take the kid shopping and make him buy beige because it's no gang. That's how I would have rolled it. Like I would have looked at like, just making it clear.
So I go. The 2 guys come up to me, the guy who liked my comedy, and then the guy who booked me on the thing. And they were the 2 putting this on. Like all of them are allowed to put on things. Like in 2 weeks, their 40th anniversary of being a club, so they have a thing for that. But this is the first time they were putting on a St. Patrick's thing. And they thought comedy would be good and food. But this is the first time so they want this to be good, so it can happen again. But also they don't want to catch shit from the guys like, oh, you wasted our time with one of our get-togethers.
Made us listen to that. Yeah,
right. And they even said, where's your opening act? I'm like, nah, I couldn't find anybody that would be able to handle this. So like, that's a good call. Because anyone else I could think of, either I would joke about Dan and Dave, but they just would have been afraid. Other comics I know would have thought, let's be ballsy and take a shot. And it would not have would not have worked in their favor in any way. They still always think that like no one can do anything to me. That's the delusion of a young comic.
No, they can.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And no one would ever know, and I wouldn't tell either.
No, goddamn right.
So they come up to me about 7:20ish, and they're like, "Is it cool if we just pay you now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, the guy laughs, but he just goes, "Because if we get drunk, I'm not gonna pay you, and I'm just gonna spend it on something else." And I'm like, "No." I go, "I've done stags a lot. We do that whenever there's a stripper." When I perform on one of those, I'm like, oh, there's a stripper, pay me now before you go, oh, I have money to give to this woman who can now be a whore. So it's like, I give her enough money. So they're both standing like around me in this place, like I'm in a corner, and they're paying me. And he has like the wad of money that we agreed upon in my hand. And he goes, this is the amount you wanted, right? And I go, never gonna count it. And he laughed. He goes, no, he goes, I appreciate that. I go, yeah. I'm not going to count it or question it or do whatever. And he goes, no, but it's what you said. I go, and he says the amount, and I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. Because actually, we had talked about a ballpark amount. I said anywhere between here and here, and he gave me the second here, like the good here.
Wow.
Like, cool. And then he goes, and the guy who knew my comedy goes, they're all trying to have a sense of humor, but they all don't realize that they are intimidating. So this guy just goes, yeah, we're giving you the money now, and then we're gonna roll you for it when you get in the parking lot. And I go, well, I've left an extra $25 in my back pocket as a tip afterwards. Make sure you get that too. And the guy goes, see, you funny, man. You just funny. I'm like, jeez. So I go, so when do you guys want to start? And they go, well, if you want to at 7:30, you can just tell everyone to be quiet and start. I go, hey, can you guys do that? I'm not going to tell these people to shut up. I'll do it anywhere else in the world.
Not tonight.
That works. So around 7:30, a bunch of the women start sitting around the bar. And right when they're about to set up, I'm like, oh, this is for them. This is, hey, ladies, we always do things where we just drink and do whatever. Here's entertainment for you. Not, and we can go outside and hang with our friends. This is, you're really going to be entertaining these ladies. Guys, we had it too, but like, because at one point there was probably like 55 to 60 people in this building. It's a very small, like the entire size of Compound Media.
Makes sense.
If you took the where you guys record in the studio and then the other thing without any wall, that's the size. Maybe a little bigger, you guys.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So I'm saying like it's not doesn't yeah. It's a whole it looks like a whole wall bar because that's what these guys are. You know what I mean? Like their club, that's where they hang. It's set up, it's nice on the inside, whatever, you know, with all the
it's beautiful, it's just not a huge room. It's
the salutes to Hitler and everything. It's great. And so it's nice. So but they're like the setup is like some people can watch it, whatever. So I look at them and the guy just goes, all right, yo, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It's time for comedy. Shut the fuck up. The comic's going to start now. I'm looking at Dion. I'm like, don't go anywhere. He's like, I'm there. So we're like, okay. And so then I'm like, I grab the mic and I'm like, thank you for that lovely introduction. And they all laugh at that. I'm like, okay, we're okay here. And Dion's even like, what are you gonna do? I go, material, but I don't even know in what order. I'm kind of read if they're laughing at and then go with there.
Should I be dirty? Should I do this stuff? Yeah.
Oh, dirty, I have no problem with. Like nothing. There's no issue of dirty.
Reading where the laughter is what you're looking for.
Reading what they can retain.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of material am I going to go into stuff that might take some thought if they are drinking or doing things at a level I'm not paying attention to?
Yeah,
not saying their normal intelligence.
Are they going to lose it? Are they going to lose it on the way to the punchline?
Do they just need silly, or can they invest?
Yeah, exactly.
And I said I'm going to do a half hour. I'll do more if you guys want, but I'm going to read the room. There is a chance I do a little less than a half hour. If that's a problem, please let me know. I'll give you some money back. Like, no, that makes sense. I go, just if they seem tired or out of it. I'm not going to keep talking at them if they want it to end. He's like, no, that makes sense. So, as you've seen, when you've seen me perform, a lot of times when I start my act, especially the one I've been doing recently, I say to an audience, I don't understand woke. Now, here I said, normally I have to go to an audience and say, I don't understand woke. But fuck woke, right? And they're like, fuck that shit. They are ready. And I'm like, yeah, fuck them and their dummy stuff, whatever. And so I'm just doing my act and I'm getting laughs. The women are laughing hard. But like I said, there's about 15 bar stools. And at the end of the bar, there's a spot where like 8 or 10 of them could all stand and lean. And then there's just an open area where you probably could fit like 4 or 5 tables or whatever you if you had anything, but just open area in front of me, and then like a pool table that had
just me snapping at the biker gang. Okay, we are gonna build a comedy club here. All right.
I thought about that.
Mine and someone's collective dicks.
Is this about you or me? So, but they put like a flat wooden board over the pool table to turn it into the buffet table. So people are standing that far back. But there are some people standing like 8 feet from me, just in front of me.
Oh, well, that's better than slightly in your periphery, where you have to flinch every time they move quickly.
Yes, and then a couple of them are off to the wall side too, like whatever, watching. And then about 2 minutes into a joke, one of them, this guy is like 4 or 5 inches taller than me, not like a big strong guy, but like intimidating, dark fellow, just walks up and stands next to me. Not like on my shoulder, but like literally 2 people away from me.
close
He
enough
just
that it's
stands there
really awkward.
facing the way I'm facing, kind of like I'm looking to see the reactions of people to what this guy's saying. So now I'm like, now kind of in my head thinking of the words I'm going to say. And I do a joke where I say, you've heard me do it, but gay. And he goes, fuck them. And then is happy and walks back home.
You're like, you passed the vibe check.
I was like, I wasn't trying to do that. That was the response I was going for, but okay. So then we get to that part, whatever. And I'm doing the act, and I'm like, all right, I'm building a little momentum here. There was a couple of jokes where they're like, fine. And then I go into some bigger stuff, the stuff I've been closing with, the big lots things, whatever. They like that. But it's just like people kind of watch. At one point, I'm about 20 minutes in, and I'm like, I think they might be done. I don't know. This woman, who's obviously a wife of one of them, she's probably like 5 feet tall, very tiny lady, probably in her 50s, whatever. She just walks right up in front of me, turns her back to me, and starts shaking her ass, going, like, dude, I'm just, and in my head, normal Pat, I would destroy this person. But man, this is someone's wife or someone's girlfriend or something where I'm like, that won't work. And I was like, good dance. And she just goes, yeah. And I'm like, they didn't pay me in dollars, so I can't compliment you with a dollar, but you go over there now. And she's like, all right. And someone's like, sit the fuck down, whatever her name is to her. It's like, go sit down. A minute later, she stands next to me as I'm trying to tell a joke. And she goes, I go, okay, so it's question time. What's your name? She says her name, whatever. And I'm like, all right. I go, do you want to do time? And she goes, with you?
Done time.
No, she goes, I was waiting for that answer. I thought that was going to be the lead, like a joke.
Yeah.
With you? And then I'm like, on stage as a comic. And she goes, oh, no, I got nothing to say. I'm like, well, then sit down, lady. And she goes, okay. She walks away. I did jokes from like 2 albums ago. I was just trying to pick, what are they going to like? What are they going to go on? Whatever.
You guys might know some dead people. Let me tell you about the time.
Not that one. Which one are you thinking?
Let me tell you about the time I had to pretend my mom was one of you.
Yes, I did that joke. I thought you meant about the time my friend blew his head off. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
The one joke you weren't allowed to do.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I never thought about how I do have a joke like that. I didn't even think about when I said that, like whatever. But anyway, so I get through whatever. I'm in my head. I'm like, remember, I'm not allowed my phone. There's no clocks. So I'm gauging. Now, off to the side on the wall is one of the giant monitors that does have in military time the time, but I didn't stare at it when I started. So
yeah, I've been there.
Don't know where I am because I'm doing a set in a weird place. Dion even said after, he's like, I've never seen you kind of speed up, or like you did have a little like anticipation, like a little nervousness. I'm like, yeah, I was scared, like of what I would say. Oh, I was gonna piss these people off. I also wanted to make them laugh, whatever.
Because that's the hardest thing.
I finish, they're laughing, like great job. And I go, now we're gonna do the 50-50 raffle. And off to the side by the bar area the whole time has been this guy that looks like he's like a tall, wiry guy. He looks like if one of the Hanson brothers from Slapshot was in a biker gang.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's got like the hat on, like the hair, the long crazy matted, like a Ramon with the hair and the glasses. He looks like if you had a biker gang and one guy had to get you stuff.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets you stuff.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets you stuff. Like, I need a toothpick, a shank, and a guy named Jim, and he has all 3 already. You're like, what the fuck? So it's like, so
if you go with a guy named Jack, I could get it half price.
Yeah, if you want, Slim Jim is my name. But I can tell you why. I can
also sell you a Slim Jim.
Yes, you like nacho cheese because it's not your cheese. Get it? All right, Jim.
Hey, good job, Jim.
So this guy is standing over there all the time. He's like looking wiry, whatever. And I'm like, now it's time for the 50-50 raffle. And I say, I'm used to doing raffles for like fundraisers and shows. So without thinking, I go, well, how much was it? And the guy goes, what? And I go, shouldn't I announce when someone's going to win? He goes, don't give a fuck. If they don't give it back, we'll kill them. And I was like, oh, okay. So he goes, but if you want to say $31, sure. I'm like, all right, okay. So I go, so the winner of $31 is, and I read the numbers, and I'll remember these numbers because the second three was somebody I wanted to call at one point.
911.
355-911. And I'm like, don't say this out loud. Sounds like I'm a cop, like yelling out a code. 911. So there's that one woman who stood up next to me, being all loud, goes, I won. And everyone's like, you won? Seriously? I go, she never even had a ticket. She goes, I'm joking around. Everyone's like, shut the fuck up, lady. I'll get mad. And then the tall guy who can get you shit goes, I want it, man. I want it. And they start chanting. And I can't really make out what they're saying. Dion goes, are they chanting beans? I think they are. And then we hear it. They're going, beans, beans, beans. And this man's name is Beans.
That's awesome.
Beans comes up and he's like, I won, man. But if you want to check the ticket, make sure I'm not lying. I go, absolutely not, Beans. You are the winner. And he goes, all right. And then he takes the ticket. He walks to the back, gets the money, makes a beeline to the bar, and literally goes, I'll be donating the money back to the car. And I'm like, I'm happy I'm not the only one here scared.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Then I said, thank you guys very much. This is great. I complimented the food. I was on the mic and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys letting us be part of your thing. This is really cool that you decided to do something like that and you let us be in it. They're like, oh, you're great, whatever. Even if people didn't want to watch the comic, want to do it, they all respected the fact that I did it and now feel like, hey, there's a comic that thinks we're cool, whatever. Mission accomplished in that regard. And then the guy who booked me is like, hey, I'm gonna go on the mic. And he was like, this is where the good stuff for these guys come in. He's like, hey, one of the other groups, he said the name of the motorcycle, I forget. One of their guys, our brothers, is taking a turn for the worse, and we need to raise money for him and his family. They don't have money to do whatever. So we have a jar here, and we all need to give to them. Not like do it, yeah. Fuck you, you're spending money. Now I know they gave me money. They just said this out loud on my microphone. So I took a little bit of my money and I went over and said, I'll be donating this to that. And they're all like, yo, Paddle, oh man, yo, dude, you like, absolutely.
Yeah, Dion, start the fucking car.
Had to. Like, Dion, I want to help, car.
But my
Dion,
Lord.
Start
the fucking car.
Yeah,
Dion, start the car.
Dion, let's start unhooking shit. You know what I mean? So we get this stuff. We walk out. Everyone's like, you were fun. Great job, man. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We walk out the door. They unlock the gates for us. We get in the car. And yeah, I want to sit back and I go, now I can take off that wire. We laughed so hard because he's like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, yeah. He's like, how many things did you want to say? I'm like, 1 million, but like, what the fuck? And so
my God.
I'm like, hey, can we go to a diner or something? And he's like, yeah, we can go. I'm like, I need to like decompress, whatever. We went to this one diner that's kind of like 20 minutes away, and we get food or whatever. And the bill came, and I grabbed it, and he goes, you don't have to pay for mine. I go, Dion, I don't know if I have any other friends that would have come with me to a motorcycle club and stand there. And he goes, yeah, we should be dead. I appreciate it. You don't have to. I go, no, I have to, dude.
No, I have to. Yeah,
that's a friend, motherfucker. Like, Jesus Christ. But awesome time. Thank you to them. Like I said, I don't want to say the name of it because they were cool to me. I go and make a couple jokes in the story there, but they were really nice, and there's no point to do that, you know.
No, and like you said, even at the end, they were doing a lot of good. So,
and if you follow me on Facebook, they made flyers with their name on the flyer, and I'm on it. So
that's awesome.
You can see the name there if you wanted to, which is wild that I was on a flyer with their logo, which is like a skeleton with knives riding a plane.
Well, now people know what we're talking about.
No, that's not the lie I made up.
I'm just kidding.
There is something kind of like a demon riding a bike, but I don't think the skeleton with that doesn't sound that tough. Skeleton with knives. I want dinner. Like, you don't even have a stomach. How would you eat? Like, so that was my shows. And last night I went to watch a bunch of comics do a roast locally in the area.
That's cool.
Just because I didn't have a show, me and Dave Hintz went and watched some younger comics, and then like who was Johnny Benson's been on the show. He was running it, and he was roasting somebody. And then there's a comic named Dave Sheehan in Connecticut who's like, dude, he's done like some New York roastings too. I've never seen a better roast guy. Like he is, it's levels upon level. It's like, he's got that thing where he does have that first line you say before you even do your joke down every time. Thank you, and calls you a name thing that just hits home like crazy, and then does this complex boom, boom, boom that just knocks you out. And the best part is he was battling this woman that all her retorts were he was either gay or a pussy, and also called him the F word for gay people. That was all her. That was all she had back. And at one point, when people start losing a roast battle real bad, so they just start talking over stuff.
Yeah,
they're not even waiting for the line; they're like just yelling. And so she starts throwing like, I didn't even write jokes, I didn't even do this shit, like whatever. And it wasn't even like, and she's like this big strong lady, and he made all these jokes about her. It was, I don't want to quote them, they were so good. But what I said, I told her the most about what he does is she would start yelling whatever, instead of like yelling back at her, which is like, this is the way you just dress someone down like that. He just stops and goes, I'll wait. And dude, everybody laughed so hard at that. It was crazy. But the best part is, throughout the show, there was two people talking in a smaller room the entire time, and they were two Indian guys in business suits in the back. And he goes, I appreciate you all being here, even the two Google CEOs having a meeting in the back. And like, he could have called them anything else, but it was just
it nailed it. Yeah,
she just goes, yeah, I want shawarma now. And it's like, oh, see, there's the difference in the two of you. Like, she just did racist and whatever. But it was just fun to watch. Pete Angelo was hosting that, so I got to see him, whatever.
Oh, I thought he got beat.
What?
You said it was a big, muscularly woman, so I thought he was the one who got beat.
Believe me, he was the one. He actually, by being one of the judges, had the funniest lines, just retorting back at everybody too. But he even said, he goes, this, when she was talking, he goes, this is why I'm gay. Which was fun. But it was a good time.
Sounds awesome.
It was fun. But I think we did it.
Yeah,
the story's me for being scared of people that are nice.
Just real quick, Saturday, yesterday, I guess, for those of you keeping track, I had a show with Earl, and it was a small show in Gratz, Pennsylvania, which is literally like a mile wide. But I have a show with him Friday. That's a big theater show, and he has an even bigger show Saturday that I wanted to be on. And so my plan was between Friday and next Friday, get invited to that Saturday show. So we've talked about Lennon. He's great. He usually ends with a Tiny Tim impression on the guitar. It's hard to follow. So as a result, even if I'm doing more time, I go first. It's never a big difference, 5 minutes at the most. But he decided he wasn't doing the guitar. And Christian, the manager, was like, well, if you're not doing the guitar, why don't you go first and give Bobby a chance to go second for once? And I'm starting to go, okay, things are lining up. This is going to be the night. And then he goes, oh, shoot, Earl just texted me, wanted him to do a little more time. Can you do even more time? And I go, yes, things are adding up. This is going to be the night. And I had a great set.
Nice.
It was so much fun. I thought you were going to
say, and then he broke out the guitar. I'm like, God damn it.
No, I would have been cool with it. He's a great comedian. Like,
no, I meant, so he showed the guitar, so they gave him his spot back. And
no, that would have been fine too. Whatever. We have a lot of fun working together. It doesn't matter. It's one of those things where, like, you get to do a little more crowd work if you go first, because it's kind of Earl's thing, so we don't do a ton of it. You know what I mean? But whatever. So there's benefits to both, but it worked out. Earl came in. I got the light at 25 or at 23 because I was doing 25. And I was just going into my closer. I was like, fuck it. And just ran the light because I wanted to get a good pop. And it's not a big deal at those shows. They don't really care about time. And I saw Earl poke his head in right as I was going, God can write pretty fucking funny jokes too, huh? They explode. I go, I hope you enjoyed those jokes. You know what I mean? I come off and he goes, normally he does the give it up for what's his name. And he goes, give it up one more time for my real good friend, Bobby Tamburo. And you could see him Friday and Saturday next week, and just gave it to me then. So that was pretty cool. Nice. And Lennon wanted to do 25 minutes without a guitar and killed for 25 minutes to set me up. So like, it was just a real success.
He did well without the guitar.
Yeah, he did just as good.
Nice.
He wrote a joke on the way there because we stopped at the dollar store and he was like, they should have gift cards for $1, and then riff with that for 5 minutes and killed. And I was like, fuck you. Yeah, like, you know how long it takes me to get that funny? But I do have one new bit. And I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. So that was my weekend.
Nice.
And we're gonna have something big.
We are, but I think I can say one thing.
Yeah, say it.
And I'm gonna say I think how I'm gonna handle it with this will be out on Patreon. Like, so we recorded this Sunday night. This will come out tonight. As
Yeah,
soon as you send it to me, I will put it up.
cool.
And then so we'll probably hopefully get 2 episodes this week. I don't know. We're both
We'll
kind of
figure it out.
busy. We'll figure something out. So this might end up being the one that we put out there for everybody too. So you'll see other people are watching this. You'll see this on Wednesday when it comes out. But regardless, um, my album is going to be dropping very soon. And the pre-sale is going to be happening basically ASAP. As soon as I have the link for the pre-sale, so you can buy my album, Stay Dry, it'll be in the Patreon, so all you guys can grab it. And I'm going to ask that you guys can buy it, and then share this link. We have a small window where there's an opportunity where this could chart pretty high some places because of the lack of other people putting something out, but also because I think this album is going to be something people are really going to fucking like.
It's a
So,
great album.
well, we should say that I performed on it and you recorded it, so we are both like, "This is hot garbage." It's like we would be doing a Rate of Veto podcast anyway. So what I'm saying is, fuck you. I don't care. Don't say bad things about the people who care about me. That's all I'm saying. So some people believe in me. Enjoy your own shit. I've seen the clips you're putting out there. Fucking Jesus. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to be nice. I was nice the whole time. By the way, fuck with me. I just told a story. I've got back. I think I'll be talking a lot more shit now.
Which is good because the gangster I always referenced was Leo, who's now on the run from the cops for being involved in subway shooting. So we needed some backup.
Well, if he knows some of the people that I know, then he's
Nope.
okay.
They would be on different teams.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so the link's gonna be up. The album's gonna be called Stay Dry. I appreciate if you guys could all purchase it and then also share this link and say, "Hey, this guy's hilarious," whatever. Running on the Patreon, but if not, just share the link so we can make this chart as number one, which would be great. I'll be doing some appearances on shows I'm not normally on. We'll let you guys know about that. Maybe we'll even get like a quick little try to do a montage later of like little things to show people where I was, or at least pictures or whatever. So where I was going with all this. But most importantly, if you guys could support this, yes, months from now it's going to be out there so people can free stream it, and that is cool. But if you guys can buy it to download it, it would really, that's the best way you can support this show, because two people on the show, the two of us, both make money off this, so that would help. I know you appreciate this, but anyone who watches this show, I'm proud of this album. I think it's going to be great. Believe me, it's so much better than Gringo Poppy. It's which is every album. So as long as I say that, I'm okay. Like I can't be worse than that. No, I think you're gonna love it. The link will be up very soon, and you'll be able to get it. And then it's going to debut certain places pretty soon.
We'll
In
figure
the
it
next
out,
week or
yeah.
two, probably. But the part is the pre-sale. We get that going, so when that comes out and you get it and it's there, we can chart number one. And wouldn't that be fucking cool? Wouldn't that be great if more than 10 people cared? Wouldn't that be impressive? Wonderful. So please support that. It'll be coming out. Well, I mean, probably shortly after I post this, we'll be putting that link up. So that's what I've got to promote. And also, every week you can hear me on Chaz and AJ on 991 PLR. You can stream that. You can get their WPLR app anyway you want if you want to hear it. I'll be on this Monday and Tuesday. So you're watching here. If not, I'll be on probably most Mondays and Tuesdays. It's going to be a basic regular thing on there doing that. Shows this week, I've got Tuesday, I'm performing. It's weird. I have a Tuesday night paying like a weekend gig on a Tuesday in Westport, Connecticut at the Walrus Alley. Me, the lovable, and your favorite Dave Hintz, and a great comic named Kevin Fitzgerald on that show. Check that out. This Saturday, I'm on a show, but it's already sold out. It's where I'm opening for Elvis impersonators. Shit, I don't know.
Jealous of that.
So yeah, some goofy shit going on there, and I got some dates in April. I'll be throwing out there soon. When I could say this, but I have my retro shows happening. But it's the first one I'm not going to be at, and I appreciate this in a way, but I'm probably going to have to cancel it because we've sold no tickets. Because
Oh no.
And I wish I could say that was the reason why, not just going to sell tickets. When people have said, "Oh, you're not there," and then we haven't sold it. And by this time, usually a week before, I've got half the room sold. So
Yeah.
we've got none. So I don't want to have to lose money. So I'll be letting those guys know soon. But like I've already talked to the places. I think probably have to cancel it. But regardless, thank you for supporting all the things that I do. I appreciate you. But this is the big one. I'm going to be making this announcement. When I said on Facebook, I'm making a big announcement, and everyone's like, "Oh, fuck yeah." And I'm like, it's not going to be what you think. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you're getting your own morning show." I'm like, no. They would never give me that.
I do have to call you out real quick because morning on Compound starts at noon.
What?
I want to get a morning radio show, even if it's in the afternoon. I'm still gonna call it a morning radio show.
Yeah,
Your line morning on Compound starts at noon.
not on the radio.
Oh, good point. Fuck. On that
Oh,
note, buy
anyway.
Pat's album because he's clearly smarter than I am.
Yeah, I thought about a lot of those things. And also the main. It was funny. Some people were like, I don't know if you saw go into that. If you saw the comments underneath, there were people starting to go, "Yeah, it should be you and me in the morning, or you and me on the show." And I go, "Why the fuck would I need you guys?
No, I'm flying
I'm
solo.
me. Like it's my. You'll get off my fucking coattails, whatever." But the joke was supposed to be that my show can identify as anything it wants to be.
People
It could be
missed
an
the
afternoon
joke.
show. No, half the people didn't get that. They're just like,
No,
"Oh,
I know.
dude,
It was funny.
you get a fucking show. You what the fuck?"
No,
But
that's not a bad point, but
yeah,
let's look at the fun joke that's here, boys.
yeah, like let's calm down with real life. I'm not gonna complain about people not paying me, not until after they fire me. That's how I make albums.
On that note, buy Pat's album. That's what I'm promoting. In
No, you
addition
got stuff.
to come see me Friday at the Eichelberg in Hanover, featuring for Earl, and Reading Civic Center Saturday. So come check it out, featuring for Earl both nights. It'll be a fun time.
Did I tell you? And I'll tell you off. This will be a teaser for next time. Did I tell you that a comedy booker messaged me out of the blue, but then also called me a bitch?
No, that'll be fun.
Tune in next show.
On that note, if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.